Okay, welcome to part 2. We've done all the fun bits. Guns go bang, gun good. And this bit is basically there's 10 little baby episodes showing you everything you need to know. We've talked about. It's all numbered up so you can go to whatever you want. But if you're interested, I'd suggest it's 11 minutes long. It's not particularly exciting, but the information is there if you require it. Bolt removal is dead simple. Make sure the rifle is in either fire mode, which is the red stripe, or safe mode with bolt operation, which is the white stripe. If it's in the lower position, the bolt won't move. So this is in white, so what we do, pull it back all the way, jog it forward a tiny bit, lift up the catch, and pull the whole thing out like so. On the way back, make sure these rails engage with these rails, slide it up, like so. Lift up this catch and push. It's a bit firm, but you've got to overcome the trigger mechanism accelerator, but that's it. Bolt removal is easy. See here, look at the tip of the bullet. There's a plunger in there. What you do, you push it down so it goes into the carrier. Give it a twist and it comes out. That's the plunger there, and the bolt head comes straight off. And that could be reversed 180, so if you want to go from left to right hand use, flip it 180, slide it back in, make sure that plunger is working. Occasionally the plunger gets stuck and you think it's jammed, but it's not. Position it, press down so the bolt body enters, and it's all back together again. Let's look at the orientation of the bolt head again. This is the bolt head as it sits locked within the rifle. On the right hand side you can see a round like silver plunger. On the left a black clip. The plunger on the right is actually the sprung ejector plunger, and the black clip on the left is the extractor claw. As you see it here set in the rifle, that's set for right hand ejection. As you open up, the plunger pushes forward and the case rim hinges on the extractor claw and it's pushed out to the right. When it's in left-hand orientation, like so, again this is in the gun, ready to rock and roll, the plunger now sits on the left and the extractor claw on the right. And again, as you open up the bolt, the plunger re-exerts itself and the claw pings the case out to the left. Okay, let's swap over the bolt handle. First of all, you've got to take the bolt head and shaft out, otherwise you can't get the handle out. If you look here, tip of the bullet, there's a silver plunger. All you do is press the plunger all the way in and the handle lifts out. Before we go any further, you'll see there's orange witness marks on the handle. Beretta have done this so you know if you can see the orange witness marks, that means the handle's not in correctly. If you can't, then it's locked in, simple as that. Right, to reinsert it, in this case we've taken it from left hand, we can put it back to right hand operation. Position the handle in the right way. It enters that cutout there, like so. You push it forward and it clicks in, and as you can see it's gone all the way home. There's no orange witness marks, so we're there. The BRX, like the Blaser and the Browning Morale, uses the Decock at the rear of the action. It's a 3-position lever, as we shall see. So you push the action closed. Now we can see it. There's a thumb lug. This has a little catch to it. So red is fire. Every time you shoot, boom, recock, shoot. You have a safe mode. Basically, you push up on this catch here, and you see it slides back down to a secondary position where you can only see the white. White is decock, but with bolt operation. If you want to close down the whole system, literally just push down on the top of that catch. The white is covered up, there's nothing to see, and the whole gun is solid locked. I would say be aware of this solid lock position, because you can take the bolt out of the gun and you can trip it into this position. And if you do, you can put the bolt back in, but you can't close it. It's about 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch away because it's solidly locked. Just bear that in mind. So if that happens to you, just think, check the decocker. It's got to be in white or red for bolt cycling. As I mentioned, the trigger is adjustable, but it's got to come out of the action to allow you to access it. So first of all, you pop the magazine catches and you can see the very unobvious magazine. Right, if you look here, you can see a plate. It looks like the catch at the end of a pull-out ruler. So what you're going to do, something like a small screwdriver of that nature, you go in there and you lift it up, and it's literally, as you can see, it's just moved there. That's about 1/8 of an inch or 6/8 of an inch, and that's enough. Then you pull it forward, drop it out of the magazine well, and that's it removed. Okay, with the trigger removed, we can show you how it all works. It's actually quite simple. This button here adjusts the trigger weight. At the top, it's at 1.9 pounds, which is the lightest setting. Move it down one, push it across into the hook, and it's at 2.4 pounds. Pull it out the hook that way, move it down again to the lowest position where it hooks in. It can be a little bit fiddly, as I've seen, and that's 2.8 pounds. After mucking about with this, I found the release a little bit mushy, and they end up using the lightest weight, so it's 1.9, and that gave the best break of all three, but it's entirely up to you. Okay, here's the trigger pack, and you can see there's rails on the top that must engage with rails in the action. So what you do, you offer it up into the mag well, it goes in, and you pull it forward like so, and once you're in position, you make sure, if you listen, a little click, the trigger's back down. I'm sorry, I was very fiddly there with it. You've got to get it in there, and once it's done, it's all locked together. Put your mag back in, and just make sure your setting is the one you set is right. Unusually on this rifle is an item called Accelerator that is actually located in the trigger group. It's a little silver lever that sits next to the hammer. And what it does, and it's quite strange, as the bolt goes forward, it comes to a stage where the accelerator cuts in and it continues to push the bolt forward without any effort from you. The other thing, reason the accelerator is there, is it keeps the bolt shut. I don't mean mechanically locked, because once the bolt's fully forward, the lugs have engaged, so it's a solid lock for firing. But if you're walking through a heavy bush or manage to hit this by chance, the carrier group would move back. And so what the accelerator also does, once it's up and forward, it acts like a strut that obviously doesn't stop you opening the bolt, but you can feel the resistance as you pull it open, but it stops any accidental opening. So if you watch, I'll see if we can do it. Keep an eye on this face there and that face there. So you're pushing forward, like so, and there'll be a click. See, it just jumped forward alone. That's all part and parcel of it. Like the Blaser 08 and the Mauser M03, the Beretta retains its barrel by twin captive 6mm studs under there. To change it, you take them out like so, and the barrel just lifts away. If you look in there, you can see a recoil lug, the two starter threads, and the flanks either side that support the barrel. And on here, the rear monoblock is configured to conform to those walls, and there's the two screw holes, and also there's a recoil lug slot. Simple as that. So, putting it back on, it's a matter of doing that. Just wind them in. And Beretta says that these should be torqued up to 10 Newton meters. Otherwise, if they're not torqued up to the correct setting and tension, if you over torque them, there's a chance that you could fracture the screws when the recoil comes across them. So to do that, you need a torque wrench. I've made up an adapter using a 6mm socket. That's a 6mm Allen key. I've chopped it down. Then what you do, you set your torque wrench for the setting. Make sure it's the right way around. Now, as you've seen, I've just pinched these in and wind them in. What you do them a little bit at a time, because you don't want to be winding one in tight and then trying to pull the other one down. That's it. It's just a sensible way of doing it, because it evens out all the pressures. When you get to the stage, the torque wrench will click, you'll hear it click. Like so. With that, you just check it, so you do it again to make sure it has clicked properly. Go to this one, insert the Allen key as before, click, check, and that's it. Barrel back on, tightened up. Beretta do so that if you don't do it to 10 Newton meters and the screws break and they find out, there's every chance it will void warranty. They don't supply a modified Allen key, they supply a long tool with a plastic handle. So it's really down to you. It's not hard to make, but you need to get a torque wrench. I'm not defending it, I'm not decrying it, but you've got to make that call. But if Beretta say it, then if I was buying a BRX, I think I'd do it.